Hi guys, my name is Michelle and I'm here to tell you about KNYO. So a long time ago, about 10 years ago in fact, people came together to form an orchestra. And some of us were great, some of us were beginners, others were virtuosos. But what this is actually a story of how we got there. So we would like to invite you to join us over the next 3 weeks as we take you through the story of how we became KNYO. So join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as we tell you this awesome story. Welcome to KNYO at 10.
In the 70s, there was something called the Nairobi Youth Orchestra, started by a guy called Tony Davis. And then there was other efforts through the 80s, Voices United, for example, which got young people from schools and were traveling the world with music.
Something similar that was set up by the Mosses, Mr. and Mrs. Moss, in 1984, was a Nairobi Junior Orchestra, which I also joined. So that was an amazing experience. We used to meet with Starehe kids, Hillcrest kids. So it was just an amazing experience meeting with other kids to play that I informed too. I think that's what later then developed into, the Mosses developed the Quaver Orchestra.
I came to Kenya in 1990 from the UK, and an opportunity came to go and teach in a school called Starehe. And I realized that there was a lot of work to do in Kenya with music, so much potential, and so many people didn't have access to musical education. By the time that I was 16 or 17 years old, I was doing so much music outside school and in school. And all of these places, I was meeting other musicians of similar standard, similar age, and we were being trained. We were being trained really, really well. We had amazing teachers and a really good program.
It was obvious that somehow we need to get music available to Kenyans. There were people who were thinking, what can we do to make music more accessible?
Hi, I'm Christine.
Hi, I'm David.
I'm Lewinsky.
Hi, I'm Ria from Peponi.
Hi, I'm Kalume from Nairobi School.
And we're the sax section.
So the Conservatoire Orchestra was the first time there was some momentum of people who otherwise couldn't afford it. Just gave the idea that anybody can do this. What Atigala said was, as long as you are at rehearsal on time, I will give you an instrument, organize for you to take lessons and practice. So that is how I personally got involved. I was at Kenyatta University at the time and ended up at the Conservatoire trying to learn music in some ways, and then the orchestra happened. So come 2008, Safaricom Classical Fusion happened. And by this time, the idea was ripe that we can do more. We were working hard. We were working very hard, but we weren't working smart. So the change came in the name of Elizabeth Njoroge. She checked in. Life was going on, and then this lady walked in and everybody was like, boom, who is this person?
The art of music started as something that would popularize Western classical music, art music. Not to say that it wasn't there before the art of music came to be, but at that time it seemed a much smaller world and almost felt like it was an exclusive world. I had just come from spending almost 15 years living outside of Kenya, and had come to know classical music and loved it, and it was really the essence of who I was now. It was everything to me. And when I came back, I wanted to do more. And so I think it started off with a newsletter that I used to do that grew into a magazine. And the whole idea was to break it down. I didn't study classical music formally, so I had taught myself. And I wanted to share that experience. I wanted to show all the African musicians who were doing amazing things, but no one knew about them. I wanted people to know about concerts. And so I would put all the concerts that I knew of in that magazine. And really, truly, when I started, I was spamming people. I was a queen spammer. That grew into a bigger festival. It was the Safaricom Classical Fusion Festival. But all this activity sort of started this movement where young, and I would say African musicians were there. But that started, look, okay, we need some formal training. We need a program bringing everybody together under music.
It's an interesting story because it was just people in the right place at the right time. So Atigala Luvai at the time was at the conservatory, and he was very busy. He was really busy working on similar structures at the Kenya Conservatory as the director. So although he couldn't join us a lot, he was one of the minds that was being tapped into right at the beginning, starting from an early morning 7 a.m. meeting, and then the rest, as they say, the ball just kept rolling from there.
Atigala Luvai, Jim Pywell, Moses Watatwa, Levy, and myself. And we went to Lutheran Plaza, yeah, that's where it was, and we had a day workshop.
Jim was like, okay, well, the idea is this. So we all agreed, number one, Kenya at the top. Kenya at the top. So we have to attack the core problems of our society, which is corruption, heritage, and culture, identity, being proud of being Kenyan. Like, that's going to be the main thing that we're looking for.
But then also we wanted something different in the sense that, what else could it offer? And so, that is where the conversation now went around, how we train leaders to come and be leaders in the industry, in the music industry, in their various fields, but through music. Music has all those facets that would help in terms of training leadership, discipline, teamwork, commitment.
For me, it was just carrying on, what I've always wanted to do. Yeah, getting kids together from all backgrounds to play music, because I always felt that yes, we were learning music in pockets in schools, but I just went back to my old days and what I would have liked when I was in high school. Yeah, how to get out there and form this huge orchestra.
That day, we had the rough draft of a blueprint. And now it was to implement.